fuck is up, Internet? I'm that dude Swainzilla, aka old guy with too much time on his hands, coming at you from a fucking spaceship, and this is the reviewer. You may be shocked to hear this, but I'm actually not a legitimate film critic. Yeah, it's true. As a matter of fact, I've never taken a class, I've never read a book, I've never even skimmed through an article on anything film education related ever. But I have recently adopted sharing my thoughts about stuff on YouTube as a hobby. So why not throw some of the movies and shows I watch into the mix? Let's talk about episode 9 of Andor. In case this is the first time you've watched one of these Andor review videos of mine, I'm a pretty casual Star Wars fan. Like, I've watched all the movies except for The Last Jedi, which just before I started recording this, I thought maybe I should do a reaction video for that. If that's something you want to see, let me know in the comments, and I'll record myself watching The Last Jedi. It's the only movie of Star Wars that I haven't watched, like the mainline ones anyway. I've watched some of the Disney shows, not too many of the cartoons. I don't know anything about the comics. I've never read a novel. So if you're like a Star Wars fanatic, you're going to get the perspective of the Star Wars show from like a normie. I kind of feel bad for the people who aren't watching the show. Like, man, it is so good. I'm every week I'm more impressed. I'm just kind of like expecting like a down episode. But I just feel like at the end of the episode, every episode, I feel like satisfied. I feel like I'm interested in the characters. I'm concerned about what's happening. There are stakes. There is drama. It gets intense. Some things some things are unintentionally funny. I feel like they're intentionally, unintentionally funny. I feel like they are they're very honed in to what they're making here. So every week I'm just so impressed with the show. I admit I was totally wrong about Cassian giving up. Like, what a weird transition. One episode he's just like vibing, and then the next episode he's like, you know what I mean, sawing pipes, and they got like this whole little thing worked out. Like, they really fucking had my expectations low for what was going to happen as far as the prison thing goes. But now, like, you know what I mean, there's a whole gang of them that are, or at least a couple of them that are at least planning something. I did have a feeling that Andor and the inmate foreman guy were going to, like, team up somehow. But I had it backwards. I thought Andor had was complacent, and then in this episode we were gonna see the foreman guy be the guy that's like, "Hey man, we're trying to break out," and he's the one that's like, they're planning already. So they definitely threw me a curveball on that. So I was expecting him to be the guy planning the escape, but then it just turned out to be some random black dude. Like, I mean, at least they could have at least introduced us to this character before they just said, "Oh yeah, here, this is who Cassian Andor is conniving with." So that I hope we get to learn more about that character. Like, what's his motive? I mean, I guess they're all motivated to get the fuck out of there. And then like the foreman guy, I think I know what his backstory is, but I'll get into that a little bit later. I just love these characters. I feel like they're all so goddamn interesting. It's crazy. Like, in this episode, we get some new ones. We get 2 new doctors. One who's putting people out of their misery, and the other one, not so much. That shit was dark. Holy fuck. That little dude was horrifying. He was just like emotionless, describing this like very intricate like situation. Like, I was like blown away by how he was just casually. I just feel like our perception, and this universe's perception of things is just different. We catch back up with the blonde chick from the heist, and like, I feel like she's even more badass, like, when she's, like, got makeup on, and she's got the drip, than she was out in the woods, like, sleeping in mud, like, because she's, like, rich and privileged, but she still chose to fight for the rebellion, and she's so fucking hardcore about it. That makes her way more badass than I thought she was to begin with. I like the idea that the senator is going to have to make some, like, sacrifices. It sounds like she's going to have to, like, soil her reputation or something in order to get this money. Because she has to meet with whoever this thug person is. So that's intriguing. Like, I'm like, okay, so finally, like, she's been living this lavish lifestyle and has been able to do this, like, espionage on the side kind of thing. I think it kind of opened her eyes when she was, like, trying to give that speech about the emperor, and people were just, like, bouncing on her. So I think that made her more desperate, or we'll see where that goes. And then, like, her fucking husband and her kid, like, I'm feeling like something really dramatic is going to happen there. I feel like they're, like, Empire loyalists, and once they find out that she is, like, turning towards the rebellion, I think that they're going to try to kill her. And I think she's going to fucking kill them in self-defense. I don't know the canon, but I feel like something dramatic is going to happen there. To push her to go, because she's, like, hiding, right? I feel like she's hiding in plain sight, and something forces her to go even deeper. I feel like they're going to get this money. Whoever this thug is going to be an integral part in how the rebellion funds itself. So I'm just so curious about where that goes. I am glad that the old friend turns out that he's okay, like, that he's not missing. But I do think that him just kind of showing up, like, with, like, no explanation, kind of, like, cheapens the little cliffhanger they gave us the last episode. We're like, oh shit, something happened to that guy? And then no, they're just, like, chilling. Like, I feel like there should have been, like, some insight into what happened to him. Like, where did he go? Did he just bounce? But I feel like now they're pretty much openly discussing what's going on, and I feel like maybe that's the point of being like, oh, he was missing at the end of the episode, to prove, oh, he is loyal. Maybe that's what that was trying to say. I fucking love the Rent-A-Cop's mom. I could listen to that chick talk all day. Like, 1 minute she's roasting the guy, and then she's like, how adorable was it when she was like, he said he got a raise, and she was like, even though he was like, he's been kind of a dick to her this whole time, she was still, like, proud of him. It was so weird. I mean, it kind of grounds it even more in this universe, that, like, these different relationships are, like, it makes it feel even more real. Like, that's how moms usually are. You can fuck up a bunch of times, but if you, like, do something cool, they can't help but be proud of you because they created you for the most part. You know what I mean? We got some intense shit in this episode. Like, we got an on-screen death. Like, I definitely wasn't expecting that. And that was like, you kind of knew early that, oh shit, something's going to happen to the old head. He was just like, he was not looking good. And then he just had a stroke. I wonder if there's anyone that was like a physician or a doctor and knows anything about strokes. Is that like how it happens? Like, he was kind of fucked up. He was starting to forget shit. And then are those like the warning signs? Like, if you're like tripping, and are you like on the road to having a stroke? Because that shit was fucking scary. We got some torture. holy shit. And we got to learn about how these people torture people, and Jesus Christ, how intense. And like the little nerdy guy, man, like that dude is horrifying. And like I said, I just feel like they have a different perspective, because I think even if you think about the worst people, like I don't even think Nazis would talk like that. They might kill a bunch of people and fucked up, but I don't think they would talk to them in such a cold manner. Like I feel like there would be more humanity. Like, this fucking sucks that we have to do this, but this dude just was like, man, this is just how it is, man. You know what I mean? Like, holy shit. Like, emotionless. That shit reminded me of, like, the FBI, like, would blast music at the Branch Davidians in Waco, which is kind of fucked up because this sound is like children dying, and that's what happened at Waco. Like, it's kind of like a weird... it reminded me of that because I remember watching shit about it, and they fucking blasted music at these people to try to get them to come out. And then instantly I was like, yeah, and their fucking kids are dying, screaming, and I was like, holy shit, that's what happened there. So I wonder if they did that intentionally. That's kind of fucked up. But I had to Google what the songs were, or what the music was that they were playing, and it was Gregorian chants, which I should have Googled what that meant, but Gregorian chants, if you know what those are, that sounds pretty fucked up. Mitch Miller Christmas carols, and Nancy Sinatra's These Boots Are Made for Walking. That's what they blasted. The FBI chose to try to get the Branch Davidians to come out, and instead they all burnt to death. So there might be a lesson in there. Fucked up. I mean, the interaction between our blonde fucking Empire lady and the rent-a-cop, that shit was pretty intense. That was like... he was coming off strong. I don't know. The vibe was, yo, like she's got like an OnlyFans or something, and this is like some kind of simp. Like he was like, I don't know. It was like, he was like, hey baby, like intense. Like, it's kind of scary intense. And I feel like she's so intense that there's a reason why she didn't. She was telling him, I could arrest you right now, but she didn't. And I'm like, why didn't she? And then she goes back to the office and she's upset about it in a way. So she feels some type of way. And maybe she made a connection with him too and is just not ready to admit it. But like, he was pretty creepy about it, to be honest. Speaking of the blonde Empire lady, like, I was worried that they were going to make me hate her, right? Like, with the torture and stuff. But weirdly, I don't know why, as fucked up as that shit was, it didn't make me hate her. I don't know if... I feel like they have a different perspective on the way things are, and not to like, the shit that's fucked up, but I feel like they don't know any better. I feel like that is just so normal, like, including the fucking doctor guy talking about, oh, this is just, we extracted these dead fucking kids screaming and dissected it down to the most fucked up part, and we're gonna make you listen to that until you fucking confess. Like, it's just so fucking evil that it's almost, the thoroughness of it is almost endearing in a way. Is that fucked up? I was worried about this whole prison storyline from the get-go. I mean, at first I was like, oh, this is gonna slow us down, and then I just expected all this cliche prison stuff. And like in the last video, I said that, you know what I mean, they gave us information that made it interesting, you know what I mean? And I feel like the story beats in this episode where like the guards are abusive and we have an escape plan and like one hard ass has to be convinced to join the group to break out by seeing some crazy shit. That's all like familiar stuff, but I feel like they use like the time, what do you call it, the setting, to make it fresh. Like I feel like that stuff's kind of familiar. We've seen that shit a million times. There's only, like I said, it kind of gets cliche. But I feel like they did it in a way that it didn't feel that way. It feels authentic that somehow the inmates, even though it seems impossible, that somehow they'd still find a way to communicate with each other. Like, you see these videos like all the time where these prisoners, like real prisoners, find a way to communicate where they fucking throw wads of paper at each other's cells and then they fucking fish the shit into their doorway. That's how they plan prison murders and shit. Like the shit, they really fucking make it feel like authentic. I mean, the show's just flawless. I mean, it's so hard to find something to criticize. I mean, the old guy did kind of die weird. I mean, maybe that's the only criticism I have. But other than that, like, dude, I am, like, into it, you know? And so much so that, like, I know that I've been kind of, like, putting these videos out late. But, like, I wasn't even sure when the show came out because I work 40 hours. I try to make these videos on the side. I did that whole Halloween Ends reaction video, which took forever. And like, so I've been kind of behind, but I watched the show tonight. I wrote down some notes about it and I filmed it tonight and the video will be out tomorrow. So like, that's how much I'm into this show. Like, I do hope that people watch these videos and then we just bullshit about it in the fucking comments. You know what I mean? I feel like people are missing out on it. And, I hope that maybe like the word of mouth, because I'm worried that if it doesn't get the viewership it needs, that we won't get a second season. So I'm hoping that people will fucking, you know what I mean, watch these videos, encourage their friends to watch the show, because I'm really into seeing what happens going forward. I'm a little concerned about our mechanic chick now. I mean, she's been tortured. I mean, they talked about ruining the other guy. I don't know how long it took for a mechanic girl to break, but like, is she going to be capable of like helping out? Is she like, I mean, is she going to need to be like cured? Is that going to be like a storyline? Are they going to fucking hang her? Like, where is that going? That's a concern of mine. If they do hang her, I guess they've shown that they're willing to get pretty dark. Maybe that motivates the fucking worker guy to go crazy. Maybe just the fact that she's been tortured makes him decide to fucking get involved in the rebellion, and maybe he fucking starts kicking some ass. But yeah, I'm really concerned about where they're going with her. I still think somebody's gonna come along and help, like Andor during the prison escape, like in like classic Star Wars fashion. It'll be while they're escaping. Somebody will fucking show up or something will happen. Somebody will be breaking in to rescue somebody else at the same time that these guys are escaping. But I feel like something like that's going to happen. It's bound to happen. I don't know who it's going to be. I thought it was going to be the blonde chick, but now I'm not sure about that. Although she is just out doing shit. The brunette girl, she's still around on the planet with the mechanic chick and Andor's mom figure. So that might connect somewhere along the line. But yeah, I think I really am curious to see how he gets out of there. I don't know if it'll be like, I don't know I should figure out how many episodes are in this season. I still haven't even looked. But I feel that's probably the cliffhanger, is that he'll get left like trying to jump from something to something else to escape or something. That'll be the cliffhanger of the show. Probably. I think the foreman inmate guy, I feel like maybe he did something fucked up, and that's why he was arrested, and so that's why he was like, you know what I mean? Maybe he thought he was like guilty, and maybe he felt guilty and thought whatever the Empire was doing to him, he deserved. Maybe that's what he thought at first, and then, you know what I mean, he hears that they just fucking ended a whole fucking floor of people, just like fucking turning on, like, smashing a bunch of robots, man. Like, it was nothing to them to just kill a bunch of people. And maybe he's like, holy shit, it is kind of fucked up. And I kind of hope that we get to hear, you know what I mean, what are you in for? You know what I mean? I hope we get to find out what he's in for. And some of the other guys, too. Like, I feel like the other guys in this little crew, it's probably everybody except for, well, the old guy's dead. So it's going to be everybody else. One of those guys are going to sacrifice himself. I feel like the guy that keeps saying, you're never going to get out of here, I feel like he's going to sacrifice himself at the end for everybody else to escape. That might happen too. But I'm curious to see where it goes. Are we going to find out who the pilot is? Like, that they captured to, you know what I mean? That they're going to fucking kill and shoot a ship into another planet as bait? Like, are we going to find out who that guy is? Is he going to escape before that happens? Like, I'm curious if we're going to get some insight into that. The Empire knows everything. Like, I don't know how. They're like so thorough. They're getting they're on planets left. Like, I just don't know how our heroes are going to be able to put this rebellion together. Because I feel like the Empire, I don't know why I pronounce it that way, but the Empire's on top of everything. Like, they have all the receipts. They know what's happened, where it's happening, and then they got this doctor guy. Like, they have the trump card. Like, they have a superpower where you can't even fucking fool these people. Like, if they want to know something from you, they'll just fucking play these dead screaming kids in your ears until you fucking can't take it anymore, and you'll give up everything. It's like a superpower. I don't know how they're going to form these alliances to even think they could stand a chance against the Empire. But, like, I feel like Cassian is, like, motivated. Now he's like, oh, fuck, they're going to fucking kill me. I'm going to die in here. So he's in survival mode, which we know that's a shit. Like, he just kills people if he has to. He does what he has to keep fucking shit moving. But anyway, what do you think about this episode? What do you think of my review of this episode? Are you surprised that people aren't watching this show? Are you telling people about this show? You should be telling people about this show. Anyway, that's all I have for now. I'll catch you on the next one. Later.